Welcome to your English learning adventure. Get ready to listen, learn new words, and have fun practicing English. Before you watch, make sure to subscribe. It tells YouTube you like this content, and they'll recommend it to more people like you. Let's grow together.
Imagine a world. In this world, there is no color. There is no sun, no blue sky, and no green trees. It is a world of total darkness. Now listen. There is no music. There is no voice of a mother or a father. There is no sound of birds. It is a world of total silence. This was the life of Helen Keller. This is the story about a girl who could not see or hear, but she changed the world. Our story begins in 1880. The place is Tuscumbia, Alabama, in the USA. A baby girl is born. Her name is Helen Keller. In the beginning, Helen is a very happy baby. She is healthy and strong. She looks at her mother's eyes and smiles. She hears the birds singing in the garden. Her family is very happy. They think Helen will have a beautiful life. She is just a normal, sweet baby girl. But when Helen is 19 months old, something terrible happens. She gets a very high fever. Her head is very hot. She is very, very sick. Her parents are afraid. They call the doctor. For many days, Helen stays in bed. Then one morning, the fever goes away. She is not sick anymore. But there is a problem. Helen's mother moves her hand in front of Helen's eyes. Helen does not move. She cannot see the hand. Then there is a loud noise. Helen does not jump. She cannot hear the noise. The fever took her sight and her hearing. Now the world is dark and quiet again. Years pass. Helen is now a young child, but she lives in a cage. Because she cannot speak, she is very angry. She wants to say, "I'm hungry," or "I want my toy," but she doesn't have words. She breaks plates. She hits people. She screams for hours. Her family is very sad and scared. They don't know what to do. Some people say, Helen is not smart. She cannot learn. She is like an animal. But Helen is not an animal. She is a very smart girl, trapped in a dark room. She is waiting for a key to open the door. In March 1887, a young woman arrives at Helen's house. Her name is Anne Sullivan. Anne is only 20 years old, but she is very brave. Anne was almost blind when she was a child, so she understands Helen's pain. Anne gives Helen a doll. While Helen plays with it, Anne takes Helen's hand. She uses her fingers to spell letters into Helen's palm. D-O-L-L. Helen feels the fingers, but she doesn't understand. She thinks it is just a game. They struggle for weeks. Helen is frustrated, and sometimes she hits Anne. But Anne never gives up. She is patient and kind. One day, Anne takes Helen outside to the water pump. A person pumps the water. Anne puts Helen's hand under the cold water. On Helen's other hand, Anne spells the letters W-A-T-E-R. Suddenly, Helen stops moving. She feels the cold water. She feels the fingers on her hand. In that second, she understands. The cool thing on her hand has a name, water. Helen is not alone anymore. She has a key to the world. She is so excited that she touches the ground and asks for its name. By the end of that day, Helen learns 30 new words. The cage is open. Now Helen wants to learn everything. She learns to read with her fingers using a system called Braille. She also learns to speak by touching the throats of other people to feel the vibrations. It is very difficult. Many people say she cannot do it, but Helen is a fighter. She goes to school, and later she goes to Radcliffe College. She is the first deaf and blind person to get a university degree. She writes books about her life. She shows the world that disability does not mean failure. Helen Keller is now a famous woman, but she does not want to stay at home and be quiet. She has a big heart and a strong voice. She starts to travel all around the world. She visits more than 35 countries. Can you imagine that? A woman who cannot see or hear, traveling across the oceans to help people. She meets kings, queens, and presidents. She talks to them about a very important thing, human rights. She says that blind people are not broken. They are smart and capable, but they need help and tools. She also fights for the rights of women and poor people. She says, "The world is full of suffering, but it is also full of people who are overcoming it." When Helen speaks, she uses her voice. It is not a perfect voice, but it is a powerful one. People listen with tears in their eyes. She becomes a hero for millions of people who feel forgotten. Helen Keller lived a long and beautiful life. She died in 1968 at the age of 87, but her story did not end there. Today, we remember her as the girl from the dark. She showed us that the most important things in life are not seen with the eyes or heard with the ears. They are felt with the heart. She started her life in total darkness and silence. She was like a bird with broken wings, but with the help of a great teacher and her own strong will, she learned to fly. She became a light for the whole world. Today, when people feel sad or think their problems are too big, they look at Helen Keller. They think, if Helen could do it, I can do it too. Her message is simple. Never give up. There is always a way to reach the light.
Great job, everyone! Now it's time to learn some new words from our story. Welcome to vocabulary time. Let's look at some words, their meanings, and examples. Screams. To make a very loud sound because of pain, fear, or anger. Example: Helen screams because she is angry and cannot use words. Trap: a situation where a person cannot escape or feel free. Example: Helen feels trapped in a dark and silent world. Frustrate: to make someone feel angry or upset because they cannot do what they want. Example: not being able to speak frustrates Helen every day. Patient: able to stay calm and wait without getting angry. Example: Anne Sullivan is patient and never gives up on Helen. Vibration: a movement or shaking that you can feel, not always hear. Example: Helen feels vibrations by touching people's throats when they speak. Suffering: great pain, sadness, or difficulty in life. Example: Helen understands suffering and wants to help others. Welcome to the questions part. Don't worry, just do your best and have fun. Why does Helen feel frustrated? Because she cannot speak or explain what she wants. What makes Anne Sullivan a good teacher? She is patient and never gives up. How does Helen feel vibrations? By touching people's throats when they speak. What does Helen want to do for others? She wants to help people who are suffering.
My dear friend, our English lesson is over today. Active listening will make you progress. Don't forget to practice. You need to practice to become strong. Want to master Learn English? You're missing out if you're not subscribed. I upload new tips and tricks every day that will take your skills to the next level. Subscribe now and never fall behind. Good luck. Goodbye.